Hi, so my name is Travis Saylor, and I was an intern web developer at Vibra Healthcare in the summer of 2017. This was a great experience for me, just because I got to take things that I learned in college and I got to apply them in real life circumstances, which a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do, especially before they start their real job in their real field. So this gave me experience that I really couldn't get from college alone, but it was a nice stepping stone into my job now. My boss was excellent to work under because he knew what he was doing. I was so surprised how much he knew about principles that I learned in college. I mean, he should, but he brought up exact terms that I learned in principle of design, such as form follows function and rule of thirds, and all that stuff just was still in his brain, and he's probably in his late 30s, so he hasn't been in college for a long time, and I'm not even sure that he learned those things in college. I think he just learned that stuff in the field. But he was a great person to work under just because of his knowledge base and his design-oriented mind. My title was intern web developer, but I did much more than that. And so obviously I made websites for Vibra. I made web pages on their corporate website as well as their hospital websites. So I'll give you a little overview of Vibra Healthcare. They are a healthcare company that runs 36 hospitals, I think, throughout the country. And they have long-term acute care hospitals as well as rehab hospitals. So those are the two main categories that their hospitals are broken down into, and each hospital has their own website. Once I created the main web page on either the corporate site or one of the websites of the hospitals, I would then just copy that code and put it on every one of the sites that needed it. Sometimes I would do only long-term acute care sites, sometimes I would do rehab sites, sometimes I would do everything. And so that kind of helped me learn how to take something and put it to scale on multiple platforms, and it was so easy. It was a good experience in that regard. Not only did I do website development, but I also did website management. So what I did for a lot of websites was I put all the SEO details, because that is one of the biggest things when it comes to websites is SEO, search engine optimization. So the fact that their websites weren't completely optimized kind of gave me an opportunity to understand how that works. And then what I did from there was did some research on the 2017 standards for that. And they change constantly, so you have to keep up with that stuff. I updated all the metadata, and I also made things responsive. That's gonna, if your website isn't responsive, that's gonna flag Google right away. Also got to use a lot of media queries when making my web pages, which was really nice. I didn't realize how useful it was until I got real life examples of using them, and they work. They really work well. I think that's the best way to make your website responsive. I did a lot of graphic design work as well, which that may be my weak area whenever it came to digital communications. I'm not a fantastic designer with the Adobe suite, but I have become a good designer, possibly a great designer, because of this internship. And it was just really getting to use everything, using Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and really just putting in the work. Honestly, when you're unfamiliar or somewhat familiar with something, you're not going to be able to create your best work. But what I was able to do was just put the time in and start to understand how things work. And my boss really helped with all of that. He is a graphic designer. He's a good one. He didn't go to school for graphic design, but he managed to become a really good graphic designer just by learning on his own and using the software. I can make my own images, I can make my own logos, I can make background images better. It's a great thing to know how to do, and I think it can help anyone professionally. I also made a few videos for the company, which was a big step for me because I really haven't worked with much video along the way, and that's something that I actually really enjoyed. I mean, it can be frustrating, don't get me wrong, but I did thoroughly enjoy making videos because you can express yourself in a tone, and then you can edit exactly what you want your video to portray. I used Adobe Premiere, and I got the project to do, and I learned Premiere in about a day, at least the basics. And I just pretty much YouTube videos on how to do this, how to make titles, how to make cool intro graphics, how to make good scene transitions. So really, it's all out there for you to make. You just gotta do it. I think video integrates so well with web that it's a good skill for me to know how to do. The work environment was amazing. All the people were so nice, and that doesn't happen often, I feel like. At least at the places that I've worked at in my past before Vibra Healthcare. The CEO knew my name, and I'm just probably the lowest level employee in the office. And that just goes to show what type of company they are. That wraps up me describing my internship. Thank you very much for watching.